Grand Rising. This is Empress Sade El Bay, and this is the Moors News Network. Okay. If you would like to join us, you can find us on Telegram. The invite link is provided in the description below. We speak on all the latest news, spiritual news, Mother Gaia news, share knowledge, provide products and services, preparedness information, and all the info that you can speak about on any other social media platform due to due to content and free speech restrictions. So please come and join us on Telegram. Again, the invite link is provided below. Also, if any of the information provided within this video, past videos, or our message at the Moors News Network resonates with you and you would like to support our mission, then please, by all means, like, share, and subscribe to the channel to get this information out there to others that may need what we are sharing in these critical times that we're living in today. And believe me, there are so many people that need this information right now, especially what we're going to start talking about today. And so today we're calling this show, now I only did one show before this. We're calling this Surviving the Shift, okay? And this is going to be the prelude to the shift that's coming up next, right after we're done with this. And I have my guest host for today, Empress Phoenix Star. She's in the house today.
Hey.
Empress, and I'm so sorry, we were just chatting it up. I accidentally pressed record, and so now we're just going to go ahead and start the show. I apologize, Empress Star. Phoenix Star, for that. You are a star in our world, in my world right now. But I apologize for that because it just accidentally, press record. So let's just go straight in so we can get to some of the stuff that people have been feeling lately. We have called this detachment season. A lot of people are going through some things right now based on the fact of their transformation. And the higher they go with enlightening themselves and lifting their vibrations and their frequencies, the more the people around them that are not lifting their frequencies up and staying on a low vibration are separating. And it's causing a huge shift, okay? A fork in the road between the people that are awake right now and spreading light and sharing their light with the world, to the others that are right now on a low vibration and with the low lit glimmering little piece of light that they're just trying to hold on to so tight. And some of them, some people may not have any light at all right now. So, there's a lot of craziness going on. We've been hearing stories a lot on the news. A lot of crazy things are happening, that's going on with people literally losing their minds, along with murders or something just as simple as a family member passing or a separation between husbands and wives and girlfriends and boyfriends and so forth. And we came today because we understand, we overstand, we understand, we center stand you, and we just want to let you know that you are not alone. And there are many people feeling this detachment right now. I have personally felt it in my life, dealing with family members and friends and colleagues, and I'm sure all you guys out there have felt the same. Empress Phoenix Star, she was just going to speak about some things that she has felt and even share some things that may help you through this transitional time while we transition from the old 3D to our 5D selves. Empress Phoenix Star, would you like to share anything to the peoples, your stories, any information that you may have?
Yes, absolutely, Empress Sade. It's very trying sometimes to be paired with someone that may not be growing with you. And maybe they're growing, but maybe in a different direction. And when it comes to that, I wouldn't say that anyone's at fault. And we can't force someone to think like we do and to maybe have the same frequency as us, because people just don't. People just aren't cookie cutter people. But there's one thing that you have to ask yourself, am I being true to myself? Are we resonating with each other still? And unfortunately, sometimes really hard decisions have to be made. Now, if you have some good communication, a lot of times, and empathy, because we also have to have empathy for those that may not be as awake as we are. And Empress Sade and I were just talking about that. She brought it up to me, and I piggyback with her and I totally agree with her that at times we're going to be paired off with someone that's not exactly on the same mindset. Sometimes we have to ask ourselves this question because we don't want to stop ourselves from being responsible too in this process with someone else. Are we conveying the message to them to where they can understand? It's very easy sometimes for us to explain something to someone, but we know from being with that person that they speak a totally language than we do. And sometimes we have to dig deep down inside and really think about it before we burst it out to them because we have this information and we want to share it. You know what I mean? For sure. We want to share it and let them know. But sometimes we have to think, okay, how does this person process information? I'm going to give you a little background on myself. Neurolinguistic programming talks about modalities. People learn in different modalities. It could be kinesthetic, which is with feelings, auditory. Auditory digital is someone that actually processes things in their head. Auditory is someone that processes, through the sound. It could be visual. They might process and learn things visually. Let me think of the other one. It was sound. It was auditory. I wasn't going to talk about this, but it just came to my mind. Auditory, digital, auditory, kinesthetic, and visual. Just one more, and I'm missing, but it'll come to me. For example, if someone is into music, you might talk to that person and go, does this resonate with you? Can you hear what I'm talking about? Is this in tune with you? There's certain words that you would use with someone that's into music. For example, if someone is rather a very, I'd say, auditory digital type of person that always process, they're the thinker. They don't always talk a lot, but they do tend to overthink and center think and left think, right think, everything, because they're the type of person that they look at things at different angles, and there's nothing wrong with that. So you might ask a person like that, well, can you actually see how this all makes sense? Because you're the thinker. What about this doesn't make sense to you? That's a good question to ask somebody like that, because they're going to tell you, it doesn't make sense to me because my mind doesn't process it like that. Can you tell me in a different way? And maybe you have to work a little hard to figure out how to communicate to these people. Now, it's really hard to talk to someone that's overly emotional. You know what I mean, Empress Sade? That's like...
Yes.
And I want to ask Empress Sade this. Empress Sade, a lot of times, don't people tend to overreact? Their feelings. This is fearful stuff that we talk about. Shift and crashing, right?
Absolutely. You have to understand that people may not have the mechanisms to learn how to handle their emotions, so they have a low emotional IQ, and they may not know how to handle their anger. And you brought up a very good point about visual learners, because those are the people that may have to see things, and you may have to show them through their visual the things that you want them to see more than to hear, because they tune you out a lot of times because they're not audio learners as much as they are visual.
Right, exactly. And that makes a big difference too. And the feeling part, the feeling people, the people that are overly sensitive, sometimes it's best to come up with a solution and don't just give them a whole bunch of problems, because you're intensifying your emotions. Okay? Someone that's overly emotional, it'd be like, let's relax. You ease the conversation to them. Did you notice that the shelves were kind of empty at the store when we went to it like the other night? Well, I'm not sure or not. Sometimes you gotta ease things in, but let them know that there's some serious signs that the economy might be crashing. You think maybe we can put a little bit of money inside to get some extra things in the house? Instead of, look, the economy is crashing. We need to get some stuff in the house. No, you can't talk to them like that. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna have all kind of bells, alarms.
You're right.
Right.
Mhm. That's right. You're absolutely 100% right. I've been through that. I've seen that with other people. Absolutely.
Well, there's some things too, before we get to those points, sometimes it takes a couple that can pray together. Sometimes it takes a couple that can meditate together, if they're open to it. It's not always that case. But, sometimes we don't realize we like meditation until it's introduced to us and we're already with someone that doesn't. And that happens. That means you're growing in a spiritual direction maybe that's different than them. It doesn't mean it's wrong, but as long as you can meet each other halfway. Well, what's going on in the world right now today? Let's just be real. We have a pole shift that we talk about. You can already see the economy is tanking. People are losing their jobs or walking away because of certain demands that's being placed on them right now. People don't know how they're going to eat. People don't know how they're going to pay their rent. So there's a lot of emotional things going on right now. Now, many of us have been through hard times before. We realize that, hey, sometimes you just got to buy those beans. Sometimes we realize that we gotta figure out economical ways to be able to make ends meet. And that right there in itself is basically where we're headed. And we just, with the pressure of trying to continue a relationship, trying to communicate, it's going to be a little hard. It's not impossible, but it's going to be a little hard. And today what we'd like to do is show you some tools that you can use to help yourself to deal with some of the things that's going around with you spiritually. Because every experience that we have in life, whether you're breathing, whether you're drinking water, whether you're looking around a room, everything is a spiritual experience. Those little things that we think aren't, they really are. So today I'd like to show you a little thing called switch words. Did you want to add something before I start, Empress?
Absolutely. You know what? You can pull up the words that you're going to pull up, and while you're pulling up, I just want to add something. Oh, excuse me for 1 second. I just want to add the fact that there is a lot of different frequencies right now hitting the planet, a lot of light energy hitting the planet, and we talked about this. We talked about this in the group too, right? That because there's so much light hitting the planet, I just want to make sure that people are very clear. Some people that were low vibrational, it's harder for them to take on so much light. Okay, it's harder for them. So those people are going to be experiencing pains. Okay, and maybe certain symptoms that seems like different illnesses. So
yes.
When people are in pain and different illnesses, it seems like different illnesses are happening to them, and they're suffering through depression and stuff like that. It's going to make them be more emotional at that time, and it's going to definitely take you to be the one to rise above the scenario, okay?
Yes.
Analyze what's happening, okay? Analyze what's happening, and exactly what Empress Phoenix Star just stated. When you speak to them, know who you're dealing with, so then you can approach them in the right manner that is good and will resonate with them.
Right.
If it's not the right time to speak, then don't.
Right.
It's okay to stay silent and go somewhere and let them be, because sometimes people just need time to relax their minds and think, and they may have their own mechanisms of de-stressing, and you don't want to add to the scenario. So I just wanted to, say that right now, because I think it's important to know that these light energies are no joke right now, and they are wreaking havoc on the planet, and we're seeing it, and you may be seeing it in your home on a day-to-day, whether it is a family member or your husband and wife situation. You may be seeing this, children, no matter who it is, you may be seeing this, and you are not alone. Okay,
No,
you are
you're not.
not alone. And so, I'm sorry, Empress, you
Oh,
can
no,
continue with
no.
what you're saying.
I totally agree with everything you just said. And you make me think about something while you were just saying that. Sometimes we have to get out of our own heads. I'll repeat that again. The fear and stuff that we're feeling by knowing certain things and other people don't, sometimes we're so into our head that we lose touch of the person totally that we're talking to out of fear that we are feeling inside, or frustration, or feeling of lack. You may not feel that you have the supplies you need at home as far as prepping because you can see now exactly what's going on in the world that you really need to stock up. And
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Because food is going to be a big thing when you're talking about a household, especially if you have children. And I feel my heart goes out to everyone and Empress Sade. I mean, anyone that has children right now, my heart really goes out to. But some of the things that a person can do right now, having extra coloring books for the little ones, something to keep them busy while you're thinking. You know what I mean? And not just TV, but something to keep them happy.
You got that right.
Kids love it.
You have to keep them busy, especially if you know that you're in not the best emotional state.
Yes.
You want to keep them busy because you don't want to take out anything that you're feeling on anyone. You definitely don't want to have a glimpse of a stressful period change relationships that you have with others, or change your life based on the way you reacted or overreacted to a scenario. So you definitely want to do a self-check on yourself and check yourself on things like that. Go ahead, Empress.
Oh, yeah. Well, to add on to what you just said is really basically what I was going to present to everyone. There's ways to check ourselves, ways to manifest things. A few recommendations that I would give out. I'm not trying to persuade anyone to change their beliefs, but when it comes to certain things are looked upon as philosophies, but not a religion, and that's Buddhism. What I have found through my travels is that when it comes to holding on to something, a question arises. And that question is, what is the root of suffering? The root of suffering is trying to hold on to something that cannot be held on to. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. I was facing some things a few decades ago, and I ran across that thing, and I said to myself, I'm worried about the job. To be honest, regardless of whatever happens, the universe always provides for me. If I lose it, I lose it. I had to actually get to that point. There was many other things going on in my life, and I'm not going to go into them, but normally the reason behind suffering is trying to hold on to something, or feeling helpless when we don't take the time to decompress and think, because sometimes we have the answers. And what I'm going to show you is something that can help you hopefully find some of those answers. It's called Switch Words. This is a book that I purchased many decades ago in the mid-2000s. The main book, what I'll do is I'll make sure that there's a link to the main book where the guy that invented Switch Words, I'll make sure that Empress Sade will have that link for you in the description. I didn't think about that so much. The person
that'd be perfect.
I will definitely send that to you. Now, as far as the version that you see us talking about today, we highly encourage you to come over to Telegram, over to Empress Sade's channel, Moore's News Network, so that way it's like a complimentary thing that we're sharing on Telegram. So please stop by and let us show you, the ways that you can actually manifest things through words. Words are spells, right, Empress?
Absolutely.
So I'm going to give you some spells that you can use today. This book was actually designed by Shunyam Narav. It has a whole bunch of information here. I'm going to scroll down because we don't have a lot of time. I'm going to scroll down to like page 66, where you can see a whole list of words, and I'm going to show you how to use these. I'm sorry. I hope I'm not hurting anyone.
You're doing excellent, and you know what? We can wrap it up maybe in about 10 minutes, and we're going to get to the shift program, so we can go on there. We just had to touch on this for everyone.
Touch on it and run, because we got some very important information to get to. What you see here on the right-hand side are switch words. What you can do is repeat these silently to yourself. You can repeat these out loud to yourself, or you can actually, do a chant, depending on what type of person, what your mentality is. For example, let's look at something here. To stop arguing. You see this here? It says arguing to stop. It really means to stop arguing. You would actually just say the word concede to yourself, not to the person you're arguing with. But while that arguing is going on, this will even calm you down. Concede. Now, when you see that you're bragging, for example, to stop bragging, you would say down, and that means to put that ego down. Believe it or not, this really works. Another switch word that they have in here is called, like if you lose something or you forgot a thought, a word that you repeat to yourself, for example, would be reach. Do you know, I couldn't memorize all these words, but whenever I misplaced my keys, all these decades since I've known about this book, I would always say reach, and I would always find my keys, or would find what it was that I was looking for. I don't know, it's just really weird how these things work. There were studies done with these to find out how effective they were, and it came out that they were actually proven to be very effective. One thing that I would like to show you, and I hear Empress Sade say it sometimes, divine order. When things are not going right, this is like one of the master words in here. Divine order. Bring the situation into divine order. Say that you and yours are having a fight and you manage to calm yourself down. Silently in your mind, say divine order, divine order, divine order, divine order. And what's going to happen is you're going to calm down even more. And hopefully it does. It is whatever conflict that you're going on at that time. But this is a very good book. I mean, it may not sound like it does anything, but for one moment, I'd like everyone that's listening to this just to silently say divine order to yourself. Think about something that's bothering you.
Your phone is breaking up, Empress.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying for everyone to think about something that is bothering them. Just silently say to yourself, silently, think about that thing. Go divine order. Divine order, divine order, divine order, divine order. And then let it go. And just please, if something, whatever it was you was thinking about, and don't think that divine order is always what you want. Just cling it to divine order. You have to understand what this means, okay? So just let us know if you have any results with that. Remember the one reach, divine order, and also the word together is another master switch word. Bring things together. It's like saying bring it in to divine order. Okay. But these are just little things. I know it doesn't sound much. I don't have a lot of time to go into them. But as you can see, there are quite a few of them. There are pages that you can actually use for different things. Mastery to have in any activity, and that's the word together. The in loneliness, circulate. Loneliness can be associated with love. Look at the word that they're using, circulate. Say that you have a big meeting with some bosses and you got to do a presentation. Keep saying the word take. Whatever you want to sell something, the switch word for that is give. You want to give that product to that person. You would think it would be take because you want the money, but no. But it's actually give. So these are just a few things for you to use. I know you're probably looking these over while we're doing it. To nurture healing alone. For good health, be. Just say the word be. You want to be.
Be. Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
To make yourself handsome, fellas, just say the word praise. If that's what you want when you walk in the door and you see your honey. phrase.
Mhm.
And the last one Empress is going to cover is to manifest your heart's desire.
Desires. Yes.
Charm.
Charm.
You have
Okay.
to charm your desires to come to you. So you charm.
Charm.
Charm to manifest them.
Excellent.
That's the positive message that I want to give to everyone this evening, Empress Sade. Do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
You know what? I'm glad that you brought this up again. For those that may have seen these switch words, because we talked about it before, you know, this is something that we're just trying to reiterate for those that have seen it, but also to speak to those that have not seen this information, because it's very, very important. We definitely know that we're casting spells every day, and we also know, if you listen to any of my videos, that spells that you're casting are contracts. Okay?
Yes.
You're subscribing to it. Okay, it's a contract. And you know, same way we contracted to be here in this 3D reality, and now we're trying to contract to move towards the 5D right now. Every day that you are saying words and spelling, okay, casting those spells, you have to be conscious that you're doing that in order to help to manifest what you want. When you're walking around consciously knowing that you're casting spells, you can move that energy into the direction that you want and create the intention that you want behind it. And the emotion, because everybody forgets that emotion is energy in motion, and
Yes.
you want to take that energy and put it in motion with your intentions when you cast that spell to make the magic happen. And again, we're going to be speaking on a lot of this because it's going to be absolutely, for anybody interested, we're definitely doing some spell casting and magic classes. I told it to a few people before, but I'm serious. If you're really interested, please reach out to me either at the Moors News Network at gmail.com or on Telegram at the Moors News Network, because I just want to get at least a certain amount of people to start. I'm not going to start with like 1 or 2 people. I know there's a few people interested. I want to get a certain amount of people to start, because this is the time.
Yes.
This is the time to do all of these things right now, because your psychic abilities are going to be opening up more and more, and a lot of people are already seeing that happen, right? We hear people talk about this is happening, that's happening, and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do because all of these things are opening up, and because they're not, they're new to what's happening with them, they're not going to know how to master their abilities. So we need to start trying to master the abilities, and the first thing is by acknowledging them. Okay, so we can start with just acknowledging these words, acknowledging your emotions and your feelings, and start governing yourself, because it goes back to government. Start governing yourself, okay, and governing your emotions, and governing your contracts and the words and the spells that you're casting on a daily. Just be conscious of it. That's the first step. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, you know, what I did was I did scroll through here, so if they want to copy some of them, but just take in mind that this is not the whole book that you're seeing right now. Okay?
Exactly.
But, you know, I just want to we want to give to you guys. You know, we Empress Sade and I have a lot of empathy for what's going on, for the people that are experiencing things in the world right now. And we just want to give you tools that you can use and expand upon. You know, while I'm talking to you right now, I'm thinking of the word sweet. Do you see it right there? To be soothing to others.
Exactly. I see it.
So I'm using them while I'm talking to you right now, actually. You know, so just keep in mind, like she said, we're always spelling. Anytime you speak a word, you are spelling. At least have control over what you're spelling. This right here in front of you is your name. That's all I have to say.
Oh, you know what? When you said that, you made me think of, that's why they probably made that the toys Speak and Spell back in the day. They were telling you that right then and there. When you speak, you're spelling. You're casting spells. They were telling you that right there in front of your face.
Because when you say live, you're also saying the word evil. You know?
Exactly.
So we really, really, really need to be very selective if there are tools like this, these are things that you can use in your arsenal for your professional life, for your love life, for your self-esteem, to boost your morale, to boost your energy, to elevate your energy. Look at that. That's a great word, isn't it? Elevate. Elevate our energies and frequencies to
You got that right.
that we're dealing with
Mm-hmm.
now. You know? So peace and blessings to everyone. I so wish you happiness and at least some content, even if it's for a few minutes a day, just some content with all the things that are going on right now. And that's all I have.
Absolutely. I thank you so much, Empress Phoenix Star, for taking the time out to speak to people, because this is, like I said, the pre-show to the real show. So everybody just stay tuned on what's coming up next. And if you are seeing this on YouTube and you were not around to catch this live, that's okay. Just know that there's another show coming out today, November 17th, Wednesday, and it is The Shift, okay, that's coming out, and we're going to see you guys in the next few minutes on that show, okay, so stay tuned in, and I thank everyone for listening, okay, and this is the Moors News Network, and I am Sade Elbay. Peace and love.
Peace and love.